Hello again, friends. Well, here we are. Why will you never be happy? Why would I title a video like that? I'm pretty sure that the title of this video would be something about how you'll never be happy. And the intention is to kind of drive home the point that happiness is fleeting. It's an idea. It's something that we can perhaps be happy for a moment, but happiness is not a state of being. It's not something that exists. There's no such thing as a state of bliss that is for an extended period of time. I would say that probably the greatest bliss I can imagine is somebody who is on a, dopamine or serotonergic drug, say heroin or MDMA. My experiences on it, and I've never done heroin, and I don't plan to, but MDMA you can be in some states of just eternal bliss, which you think this could never end, but it would, because the fact is, happiness is based on a ever fluctuating and wavering point of happiness curve, if you want to call it that, to where if your life has been complete utter chaos, forever, and you finally get a stable home, even if you've got roaches in that house, you've got a house, that can be an ecstatic moment. Whereas, a person who has everything might continue to buy more and more cars and houses thinking that they're going to fill that void. And what we've seen is that most people don't. They're never satisfied. People are never satisfied with wealth. They're never satisfied with spirituality or even their one-upmanship. So this video is off the cuff, and I wasn't sure if I was going to even make one tonight, but I haven't. I've been pretty tired. My back hurts, and I've been working on, in construction, tiny homes for a little while here. So it's burned me out doing plywood and sheeting and framing, which is me and one other guy. And sounds like my dog's freaking out there. She loves to bark at nothing. I'm sure there's probably a raccoon or something. Who knows what I'll have to deal with. But that's the thing. Perfect example would be when a life crisis comes up, something happens that you have to deal with. When I talk about happiness, I believe I'm a happy person. Somebody left a comment earlier, and it was a great comment. I don't recall who it was, but they said that they like to, that they're the kind of person who always smiles at everyone, gives everyone the benefit of the doubt, tries to be cool, tries to be kind, and looks at people, talks to them, and actually cares about, people. And I'm one of those people, so I understood, and it really resonated with me. I tend to be very friendly. Even if I'm really burnt out and tired, I get to work, I'm like, what's up, boss? What are we doing today, kind of thing. And when I go to get takeout, or I go to a restaurant, I go to a fast food place, right? And I go up to the window, I'm always friendly. There's a Dairy Queen by my house that I go to for lunch sometimes and get a burger, kind of treat myself. And it's always the same girl. She's got to probably be 18 or younger, and she's always all makeuped out, all dolled up, let's say, and she's just got this attitude of, yeah. And I'm always like, have a great day, no matter how many times she does that. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And it's funny because I noticed this the other day when they take my order at the takeout place and I'm at the drive-through and I go to the little thing to speak. I say, when they take my order and they're like, oh, it'll be this much at the window. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. And then when I get to the window and they take my money, I say thank you again. And when I give them my card, and then when they give me my card back, I say thank you again. And then when they give me my food, I say thank you again. I realize I say thank you like 4 times just at the takeout line. And I thought about this in comparison to somebody who once told me that they were so frustrated with the toll booth they threw the money at the attendant when they went over the bridge because they didn't want to have to pay the toll. I thought about the difference in mentality it takes to kind of feel that way about people. Now, people do change, and they realize that people are just people. I, when I'm at the store and I see somebody taking it out on the cashier, well, your prices are too high. It's like, God, get a fucking life, person. There's no way this cashier has anything to do with the prices. So just take it easy. I'm sure their wage was cut along with it, and I think we just need to treat each other with more respect, and that brings a lot more happiness and kindness. But I know that's a roundabout way of saying the reason why you can't be happy all the time is because you're going to have to deal with shitty people. But you can still be a pleasant person. And you can still enjoy your life. You can still smile at the end of the day, no matter whether your back hurts. Oh, God, and I'm wearing this thing right now because it's like this heating thing my wife got me. What's it called? I'm not going to sponsor the company. It's called a Bed Buddy. I guess it's this heating thing that you put in the microwave and you can heat it up. I put a little carabiner around it so I can clip it on like a belt. And you can heat it up or cool it down for hot or cold packs. And it's nice because my back's been hurting from doing a lot of lifting lately. And I thought, this is why I quit construction. And I thought about this. I could be like pissed off about it, miserable, the fact that I'm doing labor, or I could just deal with it. And I've always been the kind of person who deals with it. And on the other hand, that also makes me a little more likely to kind of maybe hate myself later if my back starts hurting really bad or I have to deal with crap. Like I went through, a lot of my subscribers don't know, I went through like around 2011 or something, 2012. No, I think it was a little later than that. But anyway, it's like 8-10 years ago. I got really bad sciatica, and it was horrible. Like my back was just like I couldn't even stand up for like months. I had to quit my job as a carpenter. I stopped. I brought my tools home and just said I'm done. I'll never do this again. And for years I tried to like start other businesses. I sold my herb business. I still have, that kind of on the side, but generally it wasn't just the money. I wanted to work, and I don't want to resale and do other shit. I wanted to do what I love, and that makes me happy. So getting back into it, building tiny homes is great, but of course I still have to do some of the heavy lifting, so I got to be careful. Anyhow, the reason that's relevant is because a couple of the most important factors, I think, and this is just my opinion, and all this is off the cuff, by the way, I'm just kind of speaking from the heart. I don't think that anybody really wants to be lazy. Very few people. So what happens is a person gets trapped in this cycle of shitty jobs, bad situations, and they live in a bad area where they can't find work, whatever it might be. Don't get me wrong, there are some really lazy people out there, and I can see the appeal. Believe me, I like sitting around watching movies and doing nothing, but at some point, it wears on you, and you want to get out and do something. Human nature is to get out and work, so this idea that, most people are lazy and just don't want to do anything isn't necessarily true, but I have heard a lot about, like, the generations coming up these days. I gotta say, there is something about Gen Z, like this idea that you don't have to actually work to make a living. There are a lot of people out there who believe that they could just like be social media influencers or, just it's the same thing as when I was a kid. We wanted to all be rock stars, go to LA and be movie stars or rock stars. And, the internet fame thing, everybody's online. So of course it looks like everybody's a millionaire. But the sad truth is, if you want to make money in this world, for the most part, you got to get out and fucking do something. And you got to work. But it's not a bad thing. It makes you happy. It brings satisfaction to get out and actually do something with your life. I know this. I suffer mentally when I'm not working, just like I would suffer when I don't have family or friends. That would be horrible. I've always had, fortunately, a small group of good friends that I can always call upon. They've always been around. Times come and go. You might not talk to a friend for like a whole year, and then you're texting every week. But best friends, I have maybe like 3 or 4 good friends that I would, that I really trust, maybe 5 now. I've met a couple of good new people, over the last decade or so. Because the friends I have were from high school. But then there's my wife, and my 3 boys. And having that connection to other people. And my mom, I don't really have a lot of distant relatives. I have a couple aunts. One aunt that I love to death. The other one I don't really ever even know or talk. Actually, there's 2 other ones I don't really know very well. But it's, for me, happiness doesn't come down to whether you know all your blood family. To me, it's having friends and those around you who care about you, that you care about too. And so that goes along with the comment that somebody left earlier. And there was another one somebody else left that said, that they're sad and they don't know what to do. And that's a hard one, because I've been asking, I said, do you have people you can trust in your life? People that love you and that you love, at least one friend that you can talk to. And they said they did, which is good, because a lot of people don't. And I really feel for people who are suffering. It's not just messages I've had on YouTube. It's emails people have sent me and private messages. I don't talk about it, of course, because I don't share people's private bullshit with other people. But we've all been through some really rough times. And to have not just the desire to share, but it is brave. It takes balls to share your life story and say, look, I'm suffering, I'm hating it right now, I don't know what to do. But that's a really big burden on all of us. When a person says that they need help, you don't want a person to hurt themselves or others, and so you feel like you're obligated to help them. And I feel like that's part of human nature. We want to help each other. We want to be happier. So all of this believe me, it'll all make sense here. So there's only a few things that really matter in life. One is that human connection, being and respecting other people and having people in your life that you respect. You also need that comfort and that, I guess, to be able to work hard, the desire to work hard, to want to actually provide for yourself and to make things happen. And, also the desire to improve. And that's a kind of a tricky one, that we always seem to think that we've got it figured out, and to realize that we really don't have it all figured out. And it's okay to not know. It's okay to wonder and to be unsure about the world. Lord knows I do it all the time. I'm always wondering what the hell is this all about, But anyway, it's easy for us all to forget, even you as you're watching this video, that everything just kind of is here. All these atoms have coalesced into these masses, and here we are. We don't really know why. No matter whether you're religious or non, it doesn't matter. All of us are in the same boat. We still wonder, what is this all about? So, enjoy the mystery. And I think that will make us happier. I think that it will keep us at least at a level where we have maximum happiness. Grab as much happy as you can. But before I go, I should make a side note, and something really important is, don't let it go too far. Pace yourself. It's always about moderation. And I got to say this because ultimate happiness in the short term for a sacrifice of the long term is never worth it. If you just want to party and say, oh, well, if I die young, that's fine. You're an idiot as far as I'm concerned. Because I don't want to live forever, but I want to live at least into my old age where, into my, 80s, 90s. I want to be functional. I'd rather just fall over and hit my head than anything. But, I've come to terms with all that crap. Whatever happens, happens, and when it comes, it comes. But I want to prevent it as much as possible. And that is probably the final nail in the coffin here on the discussion about happiness. Because some friends and I were having a conversation earlier, and one of my buddies was really stressed out and was saying, it's hard to conquer death because he has somebody in the family who's, has cancer. And I was like, being able to face death is probably one of, if not the most crucial things, I think, to happiness. And honestly, when I really come down to it, I believe that that would override even the desire for work or for connection with others. If a person could live out on their own and do nothing, as long as they're in full connection and with their experience of this life and realize it's temporal, then I think that they can be a very happy person. So feel free to add any of your thoughts below. Please do. Please leave a comment. I love comments and I like reading them. And I really enjoy the input people have. It's thoughtful. It's great. I don't care about having 1 million subscribers. I care about just the few hundred people who actually comment and listen. And I appreciate you all. I do. Wish I had something else to say here. But I'm going to leave it for the next video. And maybe I'll make more soon. I've been pretty burnt out lately. Work sucks. Makes you tired. But at the same time, it I don't know, brings me closer to my goal. Maybe the final note on peace of mind would be, and happiness, would be in an environment that suits you. There are some people who love working in the city. They love living in the city. They love that whole city life, go down the block, live in an apartment building. There are people like me who absolutely hate it and want nothing more than to get completely away into a place with several acres. My wife and I, for a couple of years, have been looking for a place anywhere, really in the U.S., with I'd like 10 acres or 20 acres maybe, but with a barn and, something I can work in, a workshop and a house. And, it's just scary because moving away, getting a new place means kind of starting over in a new location. And I don't know what I'd do for work. I'd have to get a new job. So would she. And so I don't know. But I think that would make us happier. And I think that even though there's a struggle involved, it would be worth it. And I think that that's ultimately, as humans, what we fool ourselves into thinking, that we want it easy when we don't. And that's why rich people are never happy. You can just see it. So this video is done. Thanks for listening. If you want to support the channel, you can check out my Patreon, which I'm going to upload a few other videos to. I tend to upload videos to Patreon that are a little more raunchy, but now I'm going to be uploading probably a few more because they allow you to direct upload. On top of that, I have nothing else to say except for goodwill to everyone, and I will bid you